right? Now, generally, when you're answering a question on balance outstanding, in most cases, you'll be asked to answer another type of question before you calculate the balance outstanding, right? So in this question, it says, Tabo pays off a loan of 80,000 rand over a period of 5 years. He makes half-yearly payments starting 6 months after the loan was granted and ending at the end of uh, 5-year period, of the 5-year period. The interest rate is 18% per annum compounded semi-annually. So we have got some very important information in the question that we need to be aware of. There's money which was borrowed. Okay, that could be a clue that we are dealing with the present value. Okay, the amount which was borrowed was 80,000 rand. The time period was 5 years, and they had to make half-yearly payments. The first payment was made 6 months after the loan was granted. Remember, I told you that when you borrow money, you don't start paying it off immediately. Okay? Right. The probability of winning a lotto is very close to zero. You know that. All right. Okay. Let's get on. The interest rate is 18% per annum, compounded semi-annually, which means 2 times per year. The first question says, what is his half-yearly payment? Which means that's X. How much did he pay? Okay, after every 6 months. That's X. Now, for us to calculate X, obviously we go back to the basics, right? Write the formula P equal to X times 1 minus 1 plus I raised to the power of minus n all over I. Now, just to do a very simple timeline here. So we have got a 5-year period, right? How many 6 months are in 5 years? 10. Right, there are 10 of them. So T naught, 80,000 is borrowed here, right? So we have got up to T10. Right, the first payment was made at T1, we don't know that amount. Okay, that's the one we want to calculate. Right? It was made 6 months after, which means if the person signed the paper, say on the 1st of January, it means by the 1st of June, he has to make the first repayment. All right? So we have got our P is there. You want to calculate X. Please allow me, by now, I expect you to be aware that to calculate X, we multiply this I. Okay, we multiply this I by P, then we divide the product by what's in the square bracket. Everything that's in the square bracket. Right? So for this question, I can write X will be equal to P, which is 80,000 times I, it's 18% compounded semi-annually, so that's 0.18 over 2. And then that product will divide it by 1 minus 1 plus 0.18 over 12 raised to the power of minus 10.
Sir, can you please slow down? I'm moving too fast.
Right?
Can you explain it again?
Yes, moving too fast.
Okay. Now, it's a good thing that you are asking me. Right. First, after reading the whole question, you have to read and understand what's happening. Right? Always look for words like loan, savings, investment. Okay? To give you a clue about whether is it future value, is it present value. If it's present value, it means a person borrowed money, okay, and they have to repay it, right? For this to be an annuity, there has to be a specific amount which has to be repaid every 6 months, okay? All right, so based on the question here, it says, what is his half-yearly payment? That's X. Okay, how much money was he paying after every 6 months? That's X, right? Since he borrowed money, we have to use the present value annuity formula. Okay? Now, in order for me to calculate X, this X here, you have to multiply this I by P first. The product that you get, you need to divide it by everything inside the square bracket. You understand that part? We want to calculate x, right? So I put my x here, then 80,000, which is the amount that was borrowed. Interest is 18% per annum compounded semi-annual, which means 2 times a year. That's why I divided there by 2. Then I wrote everything inside the square bracket there. I substitute my interest there, and my n is 10 because 5 years times 2 times the interest is compounded every year. Okay, that's a mistake. Sorry, let me correct that. It's a mistake. I put the 12 there by mistake. Thank you. All right. Are we all clear here now? And then from here, you use your calculator. Can someone tell us what the answer will be? Okay, and the rounding off is correct, right? Right, so this is the amount that the person has to pay every 6 months. Okay, every 6 months he has to make sure that he's got that amount in his or her bank account. Okay, in this case it's covered, so you said he. All right, any questions before I carry on? Right, so we have calculated X. Now the next question now says, how much does he owe immediately after the 10th payment? Okay? How much does he owe immediately after the 10th payment? So here we want to calculate the balance outstanding. It is possible that by the end of the 5-year period, as soon as he makes the final payment, depending on the monthly repayment, he may have a final payment, or rather he may be owing a small amount. Okay? So it is very much possible. So here we need to calculate the uh, the balance outstanding after the 10th payment. Right? If it's 0, it means the person has cleared the debt. If it's not, then it means the person has to make, has to pay off that balance outstanding. All right. So now to calculate the balance outstanding, we don't use n, because n is the total amount. Is rather it is the full time period in terms of the number of payments. So we have to use m. But in this case now, since we want to calculate how much he owes after the 10th payment, which means the m is going to be equal to n. Okay? So let me write the formula. The formula for balance outstanding. Now, balance outstanding, right? Allow me to just represent it by OB. It's equal to P times 1 plus I raised to the power of m minus the future value, which will be 1 plus I raised to the power of m minus 1 all over I. So that's the formula. Right? For our question, for this question here, the m is also equal to n from part 1 of the whole question. So where there is P, we put the amount which was borrowed, right? And we know that our interest is 0.1, it's 18% compounded semi-annually. Where there is N there, we put 10 minus X, we got it, so it's 12,000, 465 and 61 cents, 465 and 61 cents, then we multiply that by 1 plus 0.18 over 2, right, raised to the power of 10 minus 1, then we divide that by 0.18 over 2, right? So let's see how much it is owing. What will be the amount? Are you all getting a negative answer? Hmm? Okay. Be very careful. Okay. If you are getting a negative answer, then you may. I may have to do a recalculation.
Yeah.
That's too large.
What is the 10% you can ask? It's called hearing and it's called
The question is saying how much does it owe immediately after? You see, as soon as it makes the final, okay, we can't say the final payment, but as soon as it makes the 10th payment, how much is it still owing? That's the question.
So is that same?
That's a good question. Are you all getting a negative answer?
Yeah.
Huh?
So I have a question. Can you please give us the answer?
Are you all getting the same answer?
Is that supposed to be a negative 10 or
No. This is the future value formula. When you're calculating outstanding balance, you subtract the future from the compound interest formula.
Oh.
Yeah, be very careful there. Are you all getting a negative answer?
Yes.
And if you're getting a negative answer, it means the question itself is wrong somewhere. Right, so let's adjust it. Right? Okay. All right. What I can do is, I'm not confusing you. The outstanding balance is not supposed to be a negative answer. You understand? Yes, it means the question in terms of the textbook can be wrong. Yes. Yes. Okay, allow me to use my calculator to verify your answer. Okay, let's verify the answer. Listen, textbooks sometimes they can have a mistake. There's a question in platinum maths, on financial maths, where the textbook did not put a zero. Okay, the answer was supposed to be 3 million, but the text put 300 something thousand, and it's incorrect. So it's possible. You can't have an outstanding balance which is negative. It doesn't make what sense. Okay. All right. Let me put the information that's there. All right. So I'll start with the compound interest part. That's 80,000, right? Times 1 plus 0.18 divided by 2. Then raise to the power of 10, right? Then minus, if my x is 12, are you sure that the x is correct? Because if the x is not correct, okay. Right. Right. Open the first bracket, the second one, and then I'll put 1 plus fraction option 0.18 divided by 2. Then close the bracket. That's 10 minus 1. Then we close the bracket. Then we are now at the bottom. Put the interest 0.18 divided by 2. Okay. I'm gonna hold my breath. Okay. See. Okay. So okay. So what we can, okay, the conclusion that we can make here, it means that the balance outstanding is what? 0. Right? He doesn't owe any money. Right? So that's the conclusion that we make. So we are saying R is equal to minus 0.42. Well, right, minus 0.04. Right? Minus 0.04. Now this is impossible. Therefore, say that, therefore, the outstanding balance is, I'll put it as 0, and it will be 0, like that. Because the outstanding balance cannot be negative, which means he is not owing